Great. Well, welcome parents, families, and students to our summer preview. Our topic for today is student well-being and success. And we have three offices represented on this call today. The office, and we'll all introduce ourselves really quickly. I'm Ann DeLuca, and I serve as director of our Office of Student and Family Support.
And I'm Melissa Lindauer. I am the Assistant Director in the Office of Student Health Education and Compliance. I'm a nurse here on campus, and I help students connect to the resources that they need.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maddie Moore. I'm Assistant Director for Student Outreach and Student Counseling Services. So in addition to being a licensed mental health practitioner here in our counseling center, I also do a lot of the outreach and presentations on campus as well.
Great. And so to kick things off, we want to start by sharing a little bit more about how Creighton University views parents and families. So Creighton University views parents and families as partners in student success. So essentially, when you join the Blue Jay family, we want to work as a team to overcome obstacles. So our outreach by everybody on this call is usually very strategic and efficient, and we always want to personalize our services to every student and family. And so a way that I want you all at home to think about this is when we're overcoming challenges, there can be a lot of different players in that equation. And so I wanted to focus on this slide. A lot of times students might feel like it's just them versus the problem. And that's not how we manage things at Creighton University. We really want parents and families to be part of the equation. So 4 different ways that you can think through that, but ideally, we want to be part of your team when you problem solve. So that bottom equation, which is student plus family plus Creighton University versus any challenge that comes your way. Some challenges might be smaller and sure can be handled just by the student. Some might just be handled by student and family, some student and Creighton. But ideally, we welcome all of these equations because we want our parents and families to feel like part of the problem solving. But we also know that parents and families bring a wide array of intuition, and we want you all to trust your gut when you're helping your student navigate college. So with those backdrops in mind of how we view parents and families, I want you to think through that as we kick off our agenda today, which we're going to introduce our offices. And then we're going to share different topics that our offices can support you all in. And then finally, our hope is to illustrate our commitment to teamwork at Creighton University. So to kick things off, I want to highlight some facets of the Office of Student and Family Support. We believe that we are the one-stop shop for parents and families. And that's really broken up into 4 different areas that I'm going to touch on here just really quickly. So first of our 4 legs here is that we run the Success Desk at Creighton University. This is an image of our Success Center, which is located in the Lower Reinhardt Alumni Library. And we always tell families, if you don't know what to do, call 1212. You can reach us at any time by calling 402-280-1212, or you can email us at family@creighton.edu. And again, we welcome all questions, big, small, whether it's a student walking in or calling or emailing, or a parent or family member. Our goal is to be partners in your student success. The second piece that the Office of Student and Family Support manages is our Blue Jay Family Live panels. We'll be hosting live webinars throughout the academic year, similar to this call, except our families will be live, where you can type in questions into the chat, and then we'll answer your questions live on air. We'll focus on different topics and also host different campus leaders throughout the year. The third way that we connect with parents and families is through our Blue Jay Family newsletter, which we'll send out 12 every year. And we usually have a feature story and then 5 things that parents and families need to know. These are just screen grabs from our last newsletter. But again, that's a tremendous way to engage with Creighton University. And finally, I wanted to highlight our Blue Jay Family Connections. We have a lot of different ways that parents and families can stay connected to the university. primarily through social media. So we have our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as our website. And I'm excited to announce for the first time, we will also be hosting a Blue Jay family portal where parents and families can sign into their own portal account to gain access to different pieces of the university, whether it's a to-do list, finances, newsletters, community building. And so more information on that will be coming soon. So that gives you a little bit of a backdrop of the ways we reach out to parents and families. And so I also wanted to take this moment to remind everybody on the call that our offices, a lot of them that have to do with student success, are all around your student the moment they step foot on campus. We actually have success hubs in the first year residence halls. And so our professional staff are right alongside your students. We also have academic supports available in those success hubs during drop-in hours and at the Success Center as late as 9 p.m. So I know that a lot of us primarily, we focus on that 8 to 5 time, but as you'll hear in the future pieces of the presentation, we're also here on times that are convenient for your students. So before we jump into the other two offices on this call, we really wanted to give a overview, which is not exhaustive, but an overview of different ways that we partner with parents and families throughout the year. So these don't just dabble with my office. This dabbles with counseling, student health, career center, financial aid. It's everything. And so we just wanted to include this so you sitting at home know that if you or your student encounters one of these challenges, that we're here to be part of that equation when we're problem solving. I'm going to keep it up here for a minute. I won't read them all at you. And what we want to, the point that we really want to drive home, which we will continue on in the next few slides, is that when your student or when you face one of these challenges, they don't have to go at it alone. And we're all here to help navigate the different pieces of the university in a really strategic and efficient way. And so again, this is kind of my last slide for a little bit, but above all, you can always reach out to the Office of Student and Family Support, whether that's through email, phone, walk-in, or attending one of our Blue Jay Family Live panels. So with that, you kind of heard kind of from my neck of the woods areas that I can offer support. And now I'm going to turn things over to Melissa Lindauer to share more about student health education and compliance.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh. Melissa, you muted yourself.
Thank you. I sure did. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, I'm Melissa Lindauer in the Office of Student Health Education and Compliance. My colleagues and I, we work to ensure that we are supporting the physical well-being of our students. We do that primarily through the services that we provide here, which are care coordination, healthcare navigation, just helping students connect to the medical resources that they need, often new to the city of Omaha, so just helping make those connections. We also provide oversight to the student health insurance program, and also oversight to the immunization compliance as well. And the majority of my work involves helping students connect to these medical resources that they need both on and off campus. So and that's done in a variety of ways. Some students come to Creighton with some chronic medical conditions, and I meet with those students however they want to meet, via Zoom or phone or in person, just to fully understand their individual medical needs and then just help tailor support and referrals accordingly. So some common examples of students that I work with some chronic medical issues might include those that need to establish with a local specialty provider, Many students come to Omaha and they're needing allergy injections, so helping connect those dots and getting them set up with providers who can do those services. Several students also need IV infusions. We have a space here on campus for students to receive their IV therapy, and I help coordinate that with home health care. Many students have specialty medications that need refrigerated. We have a dedicated space for that as well. Those are just a few examples. So again, just really would, if you have any medical condition, I would really just encourage you to reach out, and I'll provide our contact information here in just a bit, just so that I can fully understand your need and help get you connected to those resources you need. And then also just to note, I think it was on my previous slide, I did put that there was a little starred note that just said the age of majority in Nebraska is 19. So we always like to mention that when we're talking about healthcare for students who are coming from out of state. So you're not really a full adult to seek your own medical care in Nebraska until age 19. So if you're 17 or 18, you will need a parental consent to obtain healthcare. And so that can generally be done over the phone, or some parents choose to complete what we call a healthcare power of attorney form for a minor, so that students who aren't quite 19 can seek their own health care without parental consent. If you're interested in doing that, those forms are available on our webpage, and we welcome any questions regarding that as well. Do know that in the event of an emergency, care would not be delayed because even if you couldn't if a parent couldn't be contacted via phone, in the event of an absolute emergency, care would not be delayed without having that consent. So I think I just wanted to give that little bit of tidbit for peace of mind. So, but then also many students come to Creighton without any chronic medical conditions, but all students, as we know, are susceptible to illness or injury, and we always encourage students to stay up to date on their routine healthcare. So we Creighton partners with CHI Health. It's a large medical institution, and we're lucky enough to partner with CHI Health to provide close and convenient access to healthcare just across the street from campus. So for both illness, injury, or for chronic medical needs, students oftentimes establish care with the CHI Health Student Care Clinic. That's the name of the clinic that's located just 2 blocks north of campus. It's in the large CHI medical building right there on the corner of 24th and Cummings Street. And I always say, if you can find the McDonald's, it's right there located on the corner, then you're super close to finding that healthcare. It's just right behind the McDonald's. So the Student Care Clinic is open Monday through Friday with extended hours into the evening, as you see here. There's also what we call a priority care clinic, which is just an urgent care clinic, essentially. And it's located just adjacent to the student care clinic. They handle student clinic overflow, and then also that priority care clinic is open on the weekends. So it's open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. 7 days a week. So that's so nice and there's no appointment necessary. Students can just walk in and receive care that they need. So that's a great service to have. And it's very walkable. If a student was feeling ill or didn't feel like walking to the clinic or was unable to due to an injury, our shuttle services make stops at the clinic. Public safety is also available to transport students to the clinic as well. So there's that. Also wanted to highlight that there is a campus. Lots of students have pharmacy needs. There's the Creighton campus pharmacy is located in that same CHI Health medical building, and it's really convenient for over-the-counter medications or for prescription needs. If a student is on a prescription medication now and wants to transfer that medication here to the pharmacy in Omaha, we encourage that. One can simply call the university campus pharmacy, speak with the pharmacist who can initiate that transfer. Or if a student becomes ill, see as a provider over at the student care clinic and they write for a prescription, it can be filled at this convenient pharmacy also. So there's options there. And then also, I think routine healthcare during the daytime is always easier and less anxiety provoking than finding out what to do if I become ill in the middle of the night or after hours, first time for many away from home, and just trying to navigate how am I going to handle that. So we want all students to know that the campus health aid program. So our campus health aides are students who are trained to provide first aid and minor medical treatment to students on campus. So it's basically an old-fashioned house call. So if a student finds themselves, maybe in the middle of the night with a terrible stomach ache, maybe nauseous, or maybe a sprained ankle or a minor cut or a burn on their hand, and they feel like they need help, we encourage all students to call a health aide. The health aide, and those are just some examples. You can, for a non-emergent illness, please call the health aide, right? They will come and they'll assess the student, kind of get the background, see what's going on, obtain a set of vital signs, and then they make a phone call. With each health aide call, that health aide will call a provider. So they're going to call either a doctor, a nurse practitioner, or a PA from the student care clinic who's on call for these types of situations. Give them the information, and then the provider will give a recommendation. Sometimes it's as simple as trying some medication, maybe an over-the-counter medication that the health aides carry, or maybe they carry some limited prescription medicine. So maybe it would be recommending a little bit of Zofran, which is an anti-nausea medicine. Maybe it's simply, wrapping a sprained ankle with an ACE wrap and providing some ice or some basic first aid to a cut or a burn. Sometimes, though, things might present as more serious, and the provider might recommend an emergency room assessment or a trip to the priority care. In that case, also public safety will transport those students where they need to go. Health aides are available basically after hours. 4:30 p.m. to 8 a.m. during the week. And then starting on Friday at 4:30 p.m., there's 24-hour care, and again until Monday morning. So they're always available. Campus health aides can be contacted they can be requested by calling public safety, the non-emergency line, or the student can let their RA know that they would like a health aide, and the RA can call and request that. So it's a great service. It's free. There is no charge for a campus health aide call. I also wanted to highlight, though, when, at times there are emergencies, right? They're kind of few and far between, but at times that does happen. And so it's wonderful that there's an emergency department, again, located in that same medical building just across the street on 24th and Cumming, a full service emergency department, again, open 24/7 for those emergent needs. We do like to mention, it's kind of a good learning. Before we head to student health insurance, just a tidbit on services that are provided, whether at the CHI health clinic across the street or at another medical facility here in Omaha. Of course, all services would be billed to one's health insurance. It's a good learning to keep in mind that the emergency department generally comes with more cost than a clinic setting. So maybe having a conversation with your student about visiting the emergency department when there is that emergent need, but maybe not for your common cold symptoms that you've had for a few days, just thinking about seeking care in the clinic setting as opposed to the emergency room. Oftentimes that's a big learning for students when they might go to the emergency room for a non-emergent need, and then they end up with a bill that they were maybe not expecting. So one of those life lessons. So just wanted to mention that too. And then also, so my colleague Nick Orsi oversees the Creighton Student Health Insurance Program. So Creighton does require that all full-time students be covered by a comprehensive health insurance plan for the entire academic year. That's for their safety. When we want to make sure that you're having this big investment coming to Creighton, we want to make sure that your healthcare is a priority as well. So that's why Creighton does require student health insurance. Also, because there's many of our students have clinical requirements that require health insurance too. So there's a couple different reasons there. But just wanted to mention that enrollment in the university's student health insurance program is automatic. So all students are automatically enrolled into Creighton's sponsored health insurance plan. And that happens, again, once at the beginning of every academic year. Now, not all students need or want the Creighton Student Health Insurance Plan, and that's fine. So those students that have coverage under a qualifying plan that meets the university's requirements, so maybe under their parents' plan already or under an individual plan, those students who do not want the Creighton sponsored program can waive. They can simply waive the university sponsored coverage. And then that's done by going online. If you don't mind, we'll just click on that next slide, Anne. Thank you so much. So for incoming freshmen, June 1st, you'll be able to waive that student health insurance plan by going to the waiver site. Again, this is accessed from our department website, which I'll give you that contact information for here in just a bit. You can submit that waiver where you'll basically answer some questions, upload your current insurance card for a verification process, okay? If you don't waive your insurance coverage, if you don't submit that waiver and follow those steps, you will then be automatically enrolled for that annual coverage and charged accordingly. So it's really, really important to make sure that you do that waiver process if you're not in need of that insurance. And then again, just that insurance waiver is an annual process. So every year that you're here at Creighton, keep that in mind, maybe set an alarm on your phone. You're going to get reminders and emails, but emails to the student is the primary method of communication about that student health insurance plan. So just make sure that you're being diligent and watching those emails and following through. And then let's see here. Those were the highlights too. So many students, like I said, many students need the health insurance, many students don't. Either way, Nick and the other colleagues here in our office were always willing to help students with any insurance questions that they might have. You know, again, many times students are kind of navigating all of this healthcare stuff on their own. So we talk about the importance of carrying, your medical insurance card, either a digital copy or a hard copy of that. Anytime that you seek healthcare, students oftentimes have questions about their insurance coverage. We'll help students with those questions as well, helping students find providers, all of those things that are covered under either their Creighton insurance plan or their other non-Creighton insurance plan. We're always happy and willing to help with any of those questions. So. And then in addition to that, my other colleague here in the office, Jenny Bragg, many of you have probably already communicated with Jenny Bragg in regards to immunization compliance. There are a number of immunizations that are required for all students for health and safety. Some, if you're enrolled in some health science programs, such as in the College of Nursing or in a paramedicine program, those students will have additional requirements for clinical experiences. Those are generally annual requirements. So just watch your emails and those communications for those annual requirements. The Birdhouse is the online portal where you will upload, if you have not already, your immunization documentation that can be accessed through the Nest account. Once you upload that information, Jenny will reply back and let you know if you've met all of the requirements or if there's anything else that's necessary. If you are one of those students who has a few things to finish up once you get here to Omaha, or if you have some annual requirements because of your program of study, the Student Care Clinic, again, that's just located across the street, is a great resource. Students can go right there to receive those additional immunizations or maybe that TB test that you might need on an annual basis. Also, Creighton offers what we call Shoe the Flu clinics, and those are free flu shot clinics that are offered annually every fall. So that's a great, you don't even have to step foot off campus to go to the Student Care Clinic to receive your flu vaccine. You can just receive it right here on campus, and there's multiple times and locations for those. So stay tuned, you'll see more information on those clinics come fall. And then to contact any of us, there's a QR code here where you can access our website. Our email information is there. And then just the main phone number to our office where you can reach any of us is that 402-280-2735. And again, we we encourage you to reach out with any and all questions. We are here to help. I think, yep, okay, great. Kick it over to Maddie.
Okay, great. So again, my name is Maddie Moore, and I'm a licensed mental health practitioner here in student counseling. But I also do a lot of these presentations and outreach and kind of letting people know what services we have and all of that. So I'm going to talk about what common issues we see here in student counseling and all of the resources and ways that we tackle that. But I'm going to keep it brief because all this information is accessible and you can certainly come back to it, or you can contact us with questions. But here in student counseling, we see all kinds of issues. People come to counseling, not just for diagnosable mental illness, but also just adjustment and life concerns and stressors. So this is a time in life where people do maybe experience episodes of anxiety or depression, or they're struggling with some major life change, a breakup, a change in friend groups, adjusting to living situations, dealing with homesickness, being away from home, and also just figuring a lot of things out for themselves for the first time. So you might be figuring out your major or your social group, or how to take care of yourself, or how to get more than 5 hours of sleep a night, and those kinds of things. So some of it's just like we're working with students to help you figure out, how do I manage? How do I make life feel a little bit more doable right now, or a little bit more joyful or more manageable? So yeah, that's kind of what we do. So in addition to that, I'll talk more about on the next slide, the kinds of services that and go back. On the next slide, I'll talk more about the kind of concerns that we see and how we address them. But in general, the thing to know about student counseling is that it is free and it's confidential. So we are a space where we can provide individual counseling, which is sort of that traditional one-on-one individual counseling support for you, the student. And it's confidential. It's not a part of your academic record. It's treated like a private health record. So that's something to know. If there's something urgent that you need during the day or in the evening, I'll talk more in a couple slides about our crisis resources. We also offer consultation, and that means if you have a question or concern, you can just call and ask. We can help problem solve or send you in the right direction, whether it's here in student counseling or to Melissa or Anne or anyone else here on campus. So we can do that consulting as well. And that goes for parents too. So we can offer support, and maybe we can't say whether we're working with a student or not, but we'll take the information and we'll use it to be sure that students are getting the best care. We also do a lot of community referrals. So sometimes if it's something we don't specialize in, or if someone's needing long-term care, long-term mental health care, or we need some special treatment, we're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to help students all the way through that process of finding a community provider. And we also lastly have what's called TAO, which is short for Therapy Assistance Online. And this is a great resource. It's a self-help resource. So it's for all students who have you just need your Creighton email, and then you can register for TAO. And once you get on there, it's like interactive videos and things that you can do to learn about how do I manage anxiety? How do I manage stress? How do I develop more interpersonal skills? I'm feeling really lonely. What do I do with that? I'm kind of a perfectionist. How do I cope? So there's tons of resources on there, and it's free. And some of those videos are 5 minutes up to 20 minutes, and you learn a new skill. So that's great too for if counseling's not really your jam, that's fine. But there's other ways to get that help and support. So that's all the stuff that we have that's free and accessible to all students. We also have a couple cost associated services. So one is psychiatry, which is medication management. So if you are needing to transfer from a psychiatrist at home, or let's say you were working with a primary care, but it's seeming a little bit more complicated and the medication that you're maybe been on isn't feel like a right fit for you at any point in the 4 years you're here or more, 4+ years at Creighton, you can see our psychiatrist. And so that's someone who specializes, their bread and butter is mental health concerns and the treatment of mental health concerns. So that is billed just like insurance. Billed just like any other health clinic with insurance, but you also have a self-pay option. And then we offer ADHD and learning disability assessments, and this is self-pay as well, although it's significantly less than doing it in the community. Insurance typically doesn't cover ADHD or learning disability assessment. So that's a really great resource that we have here in student counseling. It does take a little bit of time though. We often have a wait list. So if that's something that you're needing, be sure to let us know as soon as you get here, and we can get you on the list and get you set up for that. And then also good to know is that counselors can be found on campus doing all kinds of activities. So we also are doing like workshops, and we offer different topics like how to kind of calm your mind is one of the workshops that we do. We also do one on self-compassion, so how to be kinder to yourself when you struggle. And we have one on how to boost your mood. We do that usually a couple times in the winter. So all kinds of presentations and things you can find us doing on campus. Another favorite tool that we have in our toolbox is our therapy dog, Coco. And she is a wonderful star, and she is a chocolate Labrador, and she will be around on campus doing her office hours. But she also has an Instagram social media presence. So if you want to know what student counseling is doing and where we are, and even just learn a little bit about wellness and mindfulness and being kind to yourself, Coco's our spokesgirl, spokes Labrador, and you can follow her on Instagram for that information. Okay, so I do want to talk just a little bit about our model. We have what's called a flexible care hybrid model, which we have worked very hard to develop over the last couple of years and kind of adapt, because we were finding that there is an increased need for mental health support on college campuses. And we are a large campus with lots of moving parts, and we want to be sure that we can serve all different types of needs as well as serve many students. And so this flexible care model allows us to do that. So what a flexible care model is we can kind of tailor what is needed, or tailor our services based on what's needed, but we don't have just one lever that we pull. We're looking at all of the resources. So we're looking at, okay, are there workshops? Can we use TAL? Is individual counseling needed? Do we also want to get you set up with medication? Do you need to get a health appointment? Like, we're looking at how to connect everybody and get the right tools for the right things. This flexible model is also based on more of a brief, goal-focused or solution-focused approach. So it means that people can kind of come in, we can deal with one problem, kind of focus, look for solutions, and then send them off, and then they can come back in. And what we have found with this model is when people kind of have that ability to go and come back as needed, it tends to, one, make a lot more space for everybody to get their needs met, and two, helps people have the opportunity to actually practice some of the things that we talk about. And it kind of increases utilization across the board. So it's just giving everybody the tools that they need to be able to take care of themselves in the long run. One thing to know is that we have a limited capacity for long-term treatment. So if weekly long-term counseling is something that you're used to or want to continue, we certainly can work with you for sort of a briefer period and figure out what you need, and can we meet those needs here in student counseling? Do we have the sort of specializations that you're looking for, etc.? If not, then we're not just dropping you. We're helping to move you along the way and find all the right resources that you need, whether it's here in counseling or in the community for that long-term or maybe higher level of care if ever it's needed. Okay, I think that's good on that. So if something comes up and it's during the day or it's after hours and you're like, oh my gosh, I need help now, I feel like I'm in crisis. Crisis can mean a lot of different things. So our crisis appointments basically just mean like, I need help now and I don't know what else to do or where to go. So come on into student counseling, whether you walk in our door, whether you call and say, hey, I need a crisis appointment today. You can be connected with our crisis counselor. That doesn't mean that she's going to have availability right at the minute you need it, but we will get you in the door to see somebody, or we'll find a safe place for you to be until you can meet with a provider. If it's after hours, same deal. You call our same number, and after hours, you'll be connected by phone to a crisis counselor. And then there will be a follow-up the following day with one of our providers here in person. So that's how it works. So how to reach student counseling, in case you forget everything we're talking about today. I know we're throwing a lot at you. The first thing I'll point out is the link to our website. So this QR code will give you a second to scan that. But all of our resources, including some self-help tools, including like a parent's guide and suggestion for parents, mindfulness clinic, information about our workshops, information about our services, how to psychiatry, ADHD, all of that. You really gets into the nitty-gritty on our website. So please know that it's there and you can find it again if you don't remember this today. And then, as I mentioned, there's Coco. She's got a great social media presence, so give her a follow to just know what we're up to. You can also contact her and she will let the humans know, and we'll take care of it from there. And then our number is 402-280-CALM, which is 2256. And again, you can call that number day or night to get access to our resources. So whether you're connected to that crisis counselor or you're at our front desk, give our front desk a call and they'll help direct you where you need to go.
Great. So I think in closing, what Melissa, Maddie, and I all are really trying to drive home to parents and families is that we have your back. When you have your student come to campus, whether you're visiting campus, whatever scenario is presented in front of your family or your student, we are the folks on campus that we want you to call, because our goal is to help work with all the different offices on campus and walk alongside you as we try to problem solve, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. We want to work together to be a part of that equation when you solve the problem. So again, if one of those challenges drops in our laps, we're going to listen, we'll take notes, ask questions, we'll figure out which office needs to be involved. We'll figure out what the timeline is. Is this something we need to solve today? Is it several weeks of problem solving? What are we trying to overcome? And then we're going to try to put together what those next steps are and follow up and check in on things. So those are some things you can expect when you come to Creighton University, is that whole navigation alongside you. And we didn't want to let you all go without a little reminder of a save the date for Family Weekend. This year, it'll be Family Weekend September 15th through 17th. And I know lots of our offices will be there in some capacity. We would welcome you all stopping by to say hello, because again, we welcome our relationships with our parents and families. And so if you want to know more, you can find us anytime on campus. You can pop in to say hello, but you can also start with the Office of Student and Family Support. Again, if you don't know what to do, call 1212, and that's 402-280-1212, or you can email us at family@creighton.edu. Again, feel free to pause this video, rewind this video. If you have follow-up questions, you can reach any one of us on this call. But also you can email newjays@creighton.edu with any follow-up questions. So Maddie, Melissa, any last words of wisdom or advice for our parents and families and students?
I don't think so, but welcome to Creighton.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for listening.